My fiancé wanted to postpone our wedding. Because his daughter got sick, I refused, and our relationship almost fell apart. 3 months later, I'm called Mama for the first time. I, F29, need advice about my fiancé Ryan, M32, and our wedding plans. We've been together for 4 years and engaged for 8 months. Our wedding was set for next spring, but now everything's up in the air. To give some background, Ryan and I met at a charity event for a local animal shelter. I was volunteering, and he was there with his daughter, Lisa, 8, who was begging him to adopt every dog in sight. We struck up a conversation, and I was immediately drawn to his kind eyes and the gentle way he interacted with Lisa. It wasn't until our third date that he told me he was divorced, and Lisa was from his previous marriage. I'll admit, I was hesitant at first. My own parents had a messy divorce when I was young, and I wasn't sure I was ready to step into a ready-made family. But Ryan was patient, and Lisa was impossible not to love. Over time, I found myself falling for both of them. Ryan's ex-wife, Kimberly, F31, has primary custody of Lisa. When we first started dating, Kimberly was cold towards me. I later learned she had struggled with depression after their divorce and was wary of anyone new in Lisa's life. It took almost a year before she'd even speak to me directly at custody exchanges. Lisa stays with us every other weekend and for a month in summer. I've always tried to be a good stepmom-to-be. I help her with homework, bake cookies with her, and even learn to French braid her hair. Thanks, YouTube tutorials. We've developed our own little traditions, like Sunday morning pancakes and Friday night board games. Ryan proposed on Christmas Eve last year. We were decorating the tree with Lisa, and he got down on one knee with Lisa holding the ring box. It was perfect. We set the date for May 15th next year, my late grandmother's birthday. Gran raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 12. She was my rock, and I wanted to honor her memory on our special day. We threw ourselves into wedding planning. I found the perfect venue, a rustic barn with fairy lights and a view of the mountains. We booked our favorite local band and started tastings with caterers. Lisa was thrilled to be our flower girl and has been practicing her petal tossing technique for months. Everything was going smoothly until last week. Lisa had been complaining about joint pain for a while, but we all assumed it was growing pains. Then she woke up one morning with her knees so swollen she could barely walk. Ryan rushed her to the hospital, and after a battery of tests, she was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. It was a shock to all of us. The doctor said she'll need ongoing treatment and physical therapy for at least a year. Ryan was devastated and immediately went into overprotective dad mode. He's always been an attentive father, but now he's in overdrive, researching treatments, joining support groups, even talking about taking a leave of absence from work. Yesterday, I overheard Ryan on the phone with his best friend, Jack. He was talking about postponing our wedding for a year or more. I was stunned. We hadn't discussed this at all. When I confronted Ryan about it, he got defensive. He said Lisa's health comes first and accused me of being selfish for even questioning it. I tried to explain that I understood Lisa's treatment was important, but I didn't see why we needed to put our lives on hold completely. Our venue and vendors are already booked. We'd lose thousands in deposits if we cancel now. Plus, the date is so special to me because of Gran. I suggested we could have a smaller ceremony on our original date and do a bigger celebration later when Lisa is feeling better. Ryan wouldn't listen. He said if I really cared about Lisa, I'd agree to postpone. Without question. He brought up how Kimberly is taking time off work to be with Lisa for treatments, implying I should be willing to make similar sacrifices. But it's not the same. Kimberly is Lisa's mom, and I'm not sure where I fit in sometimes. He shot down the idea of a smaller ceremony, too. He said he wants Lisa to be able to fully participate and enjoy the day, not be in pain or tired from treatments. I get where he's coming from, I really do. But I can't help feeling hurt and pushed aside. We made these plans together, and now he's changing everything without even talking to me first. It feels like my feelings don't matter at all. This morning, Kimberly called to discuss Lisa's treatment schedule. When I mentioned the wedding might be postponed, she seemed surprised. She said, "Oh, I thought you guys would just go ahead with it. Lisa's been so excited about being a flower girl." It made me wonder if Ryan had even talked to Kimberly about his plans to postpone. I'm torn. On one hand, I love Lisa like she's my own. I want her to be healthy and happy. I've been researching her condition, looking into dietary changes that might help, even learning how to give her gentle joint massages. I want to support her and Ryan through this challenging time. On the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that I'm being sidelined in my own relationship. Ryan and I have built a life together over the past 4 years. We've talked about having kids of our own someday. But right now, it feels like all our plans are up in the air, and I don't have a say in any of it. I'm worried that if we put things off now, there will always be another reason to delay. What if Lisa's treatment takes longer than expected? What if there are complications? Will we ever get married, or will I always be the almost stepmom, not quite part of the family? I love Ryan and Lisa, but I also want to start my life with Ryan. I've always dreamed of having a family of my own, and at 29, I'm starting to worry about my own timeline. What if we wait too long to have kids? What if something happens and we miss our chance? Am I being selfish? Should I just agree to postpone everything? How do I balance being supportive of Lisa with my own needs and desires? Any advice would be appreciated. Confessed, he sometimes feels torn between his role as Lisa's dad and his relationship with me. He worried that if we got married now, I might resent Lisa for taking up so much of our time and attention. I shared my own insecurities about where I fit in with Lisa and Kimberly. I explained that while I love Lisa, I sometimes feel like an outsider in their family unit. Postponing the wedding indefinitely made those feelings worse. Ryan opened up about his fears regarding Lisa's condition. He admitted he was scared of what the future might hold and was trying to control everything he could. He also revealed that he hadn't actually discussed postponing the wedding with Kimberly or Lisa yet. He was just panicking and venting to Jack. We talked about our different coping mechanisms. I tend to plan and problem solve, while Ryan retreats and tries to handle everything himself. We realized we need to work on meeting in the middle and supporting each other better. After hours of talking, we came to a compromise. We're going to keep our original wedding date, but scale back our plans significantly. Instead of the big barn wedding, we'll have a small family-only ceremony in Ryan's backyard. This way, Lisa can be involved without getting overwhelmed, and we can still start our married life together. We're also going to start family counseling to work on blending our family and improving communication. Ryan agreed to include me more in decisions about Lisa, and I promised to be more vocal about my needs and feelings. The next day, we sat down with Lisa to explain the changes to our wedding plans. To our surprise, she was more upset about missing out on being a flower girl than having a big party. We assured her she could still be our flower girl, just with a smaller audience. She seemed satisfied with that and immediately started planning her practice walks down our hallway. We also had a conversation with Kimberly. I was nervous about it, but it went better than expected. She was supportive of our decision to have a smaller ceremony and even offered to help with some of the preparations. It feels like a small step towards a more cooperative co-parenting relationship. As for the wedding itself, we're embracing the change of plans. We're thinking of setting up a small tent in the backyard, stringing up fairy lights, and having a casual barbecue reception. It's not what we originally envisioned, but there's something sweet about starting our married life in the home we've built together. We did lose some deposits on the original venue and vendors, which stings a bit. But we're trying to look at it as an investment in our family's well-being rather than a loss. Lisa had her first round of treatments last week. It was tough seeing her in pain, but she's been so brave. Ryan and I took turns sitting with her, reading her favorite stories, and playing endless rounds of Go Fish. It made me realize that this, being there for each other through the hard times, is what family is really about. Things aren't perfect, but I feel like we're on a better path now. We're facing Lisa's health challenges as a team, which is how it should be. There's still a lot of uncertainty ahead, but I'm cautiously optimistic about our future. Update 2. It's been about 3 months since my last update, and I wanted to share what's been happening. Our small backyard wedding went ahead as planned. It was nothing like the big celebration we originally envisioned, but it was beautiful in its own way. We strung fairy lights in the trees, set up a small arch covered in flowers, and borrowed folding chairs from our neighbors. Our immediate families and closest friends attended. about 30 people in total. Lisa was feeling good that day and even helped me get ready. She insisted on braiding flowers into my hair, just like she'd seen in a princess movie. It wasn't exactly the elegant updo I had planned, but seeing her proud smile in the mirror made it perfect. The ceremony itself was short and sweet. Lisa walked down our makeshift aisle, tossing flower petals with gusto. She got a bit overenthusiastic and ran out of petals halfway down, so she started picking up the ones she'd already thrown and rethrowing them. Everyone was laughing, and it broke any tension in the air. Seeing her smile as she stood next to us during the vows made all the compromises worth it. After the ceremony, we had a casual barbecue reception. It was relaxed and fun. People played lawn games, kids ran around with sparklers as the sun set, and there was an impromptu dance party on the patio. The family counseling has been incredibly helpful. It's given us tools to communicate better and handle conflicts. Ryan is making a real effort to include me in decisions about Lisa. Last month, when choosing between 2 treatment options, he asked for my input and really listened to my thoughts. Lisa's health has been up and down. Some weeks are great, others are tough, but we're managing. I've been taking her to physical therapy sessions when Ryan can't get off work. It's been a bonding experience for us. Last week, she called me Mama Rachel for the first time. I won't lie, I teared up a bit. Things with Kimberly have improved too. She was wary of me at first, but seeing how I've stepped up to help with Lisa's care has softened her attitude. We're not best friends or anything, but we can have civil conversations now. She even thanked me the other day for being there for Lisa. Not everything is perfect. Ryan and I still have disagreements, especially when we're stressed about Lisa's health. But we're learning to talk things through instead of getting defensive or shutting down. I'm glad we didn't postpone the wedding. Being married has actually made it easier to face these challenges together. We're a team now, officially and emotionally. Looking back, I realize how close we came to letting fear and poor communication drive us apart. I'm grateful we found a way to move forward together. It's not the newlywed life I imagined, but I wouldn't trade my little family for anything. Update 3. It's been 6 months since our backyard wedding, and life has settled into a new kind of normal. Lisa's condition has stabilized with the current treatment plan, though we still have good days and bad days. One unexpected development is that Ryan's company has been incredibly supportive. When they learned about Lisa's situation, they offered Ryan a more flexible work schedule. He can work from home 2 days a week now, which has made managing Lisa's appointments much easier. Kimberly and I have continued to build a better relationship. Last month, when both Ryan and Kimberly had work conflicts, I took Lisa to an important doctor's appointment. Afterwards, Kimberly invited us both over for dinner. It was a little awkward at first, but by the end of the night, we were all laughing at Lisa's jokes and sharing stories. It felt like a breakthrough. Ryan and I are still adjusting to married life while dealing with Lisa's health challenges. We've had our share of arguments, usually when we're both exhausted and stressed. But the counseling has really helped. We're getting better at recognizing when we need to take a step back and regroup. Lisa has been amazing through all of this. She has her moments of frustration, of course, but her resilience astounds me. She started a good day journal where she writes down one good thing that happens each day, no matter how small. It's been a great reminder for all of us to focus on the positive. As for me, I'm learning to balance my role as a wife, stepmom, and individual. I've started taking an online course in child psychology, partly to better understand what Lisa's going through, and partly for my own personal growth. We're taking things day by day, but I feel hopeful about our future. It's not the path I expected, but I'm grateful for where it's led us.